The man accused of kidnapping a teenage girl for months is in court in Wisconsin for the first time. I'm Tanasia Shaw with the criminal complaint and what we're learning.
You must stop.
I'm Ellie LaLiberte. Why a Wisconsin Election Commission meeting turned into a tense argument about an item that wasn't on the agenda.
What's at stake for epilepsy programs nationwide amid federal staffing cuts? I'm Meryl Hubbard, bringing you epilepsy leaders at the local and national level coming up.
We welcome you now to News 3 Now at 6. Good evening and thanks for joining us, everyone. I'm Sarah Carlson. Eric Franke is off. We begin with the threat of severe weather moving into southern Wisconsin tonight and tomorrow afternoon. The News 3 Now weather team has been monitoring these storms for the past few days. So let's head straight to meteorologist Jacob Montesano for the first warned weather forecast. And out on the patio, not too bad yet.
Yeah, no, we're just seeing some light showers right now, but it is very windy across southern Wisconsin. That has kept the temperatures a little bit mild, but overall it actually feels a little bit cooler compared to yesterday, where we saw sunshine and calm winds. Now, looking at the current radar, again, just some showers for now. We are seeing a few showers begin to develop in southwestern Wisconsin. My expectation is that these are not going to form into much. Looks like there are some pockets of moderate rainfall, but we're still not expecting the severe weather for another few hours. Taking a look at the winds, though, we are seeing some pretty strong winds right now, up to 20 miles per hour, but it has kept the temperatures a little bit milder, upper 50s, lower 60s at this moment, and the temperatures aren't really going to change much over the next couple of hours because of that wind. Now, here's a look at the rainfall forecast. Some light showers are going to continue until about 9 to 10 p.m. Then we're going to see more consistent showers and storms move into the area. Some of these could be severe, especially for areas west of Madison. And the first round of rain, the heaviest will be north of Madison. And then as we get later in the night, we'll see more consistent rain south near the Wisconsin-Illinois border, with another round of consistent rain north as we head closer to sunrise. But everyone will see on and off showers and storms tonight. And then as we get towards tomorrow, during the afternoon tomorrow, we're possibly going to see even stronger storms, and that's where the alert day is in the forecast, mainly for areas east and southeast of Madison, where we could see large hail and strong winds. So I'll talk through the forecast on that coming up a little bit later.
All right, thank you, Jacob. And you can also track the forecast for yourself on the First Warn Weather app. It has hourly planners, road conditions, and radar. You can download this for free at your phone's app store. Just search WISC Weather.
Do you understand the words I am saying? They are simple. You are out of order.
A pretty tense debate, as you just heard, during today's Wisconsin Elections Commission meeting. An update about the Madison missing ballot investigation was on the agenda, but instead it turned into a heated argument about Milwaukee. Our Ellie LaLiberte explains how things turned into chaos.
You are out of order, and I will eject you from this meeting if you disobey again. You're going to
try and muzzle me?
Commotion breaking out during the State Election Commission quarterly meeting on Thursday.
I am ruling your comments out of order, Bob.
Democratic appointee WEC Chair Ann Jacobs talking over Republican appointee Bob Spindell as he veered off the agenda.
I think that even more serious problem is in the city of Milwaukee.
A conversation meant to center around issues in Madison, but brought up concerns about how Milwaukee counts its votes.
What Bob tried to hijack our meeting about today were these conspiracy theories that he just went through with you. Hijacking a meeting for things that are not on the agenda needs to stop. The commission has work to do.
When we have a major issue like this, it's something that the Wisconsin Election Commission needs to bring up and needs to discuss. This is a very serious problem in Milwaukee, especially since it really hasn't happened before.
Spindell is urging the WEC to investigate Milwaukee's ballot counting process.
I want to protect the voting situation in the city of Milwaukee and the state, and I think my comments were appropriate.
While Jacob says it doesn't merit the same attention as the Madison investigation.
So an investigation needs to have a purpose other than whining, complaining, and conspiracy theories.
The tense moment continuing as both left the meeting.
No, Bob, you're making it up again.
You're making it.
Reporting downtown Madison, Ellie LaLiberte, News 3 Now.
Thank you, Ellie. As for the update on the missing absentee ballots in Madison, commission staff questioned the Madison clerk at the center of the investigation, the same clerk who now resigned. The investigation will continue. However, the State Election Commission will now start deposing city and county staff. In other news, in Dodge County now, the man accused of kidnapping a pregnant teenage girl from Beaver Dam is making his first court appearance in Wisconsin. 40-year-old Gary Day is now facing a $2 million bond after being caught with 17-year-old Sophia Franklin in Nebraska. Our Tanisha Shaw has more.
40-year-old Gary Day and then 16-year-old Sophia Franklin met online in 2024, according to a criminal complaint. Franklin is now 17 years old and told the Beaver Dam Police Department that she spent weeks with Day at his home in Arkansas during the summer of 2024.
Court finds that defendant presents an extreme flight risk and an extreme risk to this victim and other potential victims.
Months later, in February 2025, Day would travel to Sophia's home in Beaver Dam and leave with her. They would travel through several states by driving or hitchhiking, going as far as Texas.
Finds that substantial cash bail is necessary to ensure future appearances and to protect the public. The court will order $2 million cash bail.
Day is facing several charges here in Wisconsin: 2 counts of child enticement and abduction of a child.
Orders no contact with the victim, her family, or her residence. The court will also order no contact under 940.74 while he's in custody. Rather than limiting other contact to immediate family, I'm going to include another order that he have no contact with minors.
Also in this criminal complaint, Sophia Franklin says she's engaged and pregnant with Gary Day's child. Gary Day said he's never had any sexual intercourse with Sophia Franklin. Reporting in Juneau, Tanisha Shaw, News 3 Now.
Tanisha, thank you. And Day's next court appearance will be on Wednesday of next week. Incredibly sad. That's what Madison police are calling an accidental shooting that resulted in the death of a Madison man last night. Arman Rahman has more on where law enforcement is in their investigation.
Madison police officers say there were sad circumstances all around the shooting death of a teenage victim and the arrest of a 17-year-old.
All information we have at this point indicates that it was an accidental shooting between friends.
Police found one of those friends shot on the ground in a parking lot Wednesday night in the 1200 block of Fish Hatchery Road near the SSM Health Clinics. That person was taken to a hospital where he later died. The other friend, a 17-year-old boy, arrested and facing charges of homicide by negligent handling of a weapon. Madison Police Lieutenant Matt Nordquist says it's calls like this that are tragic not just for the victim's loved ones, it's hard on responding officers.
It's incredibly sad, and you try to handle it appropriately, but it's our job to respond, so you have to put it in its place and make sure that we're doing our job. But it certainly takes a toll on officers and all responders and everyone nearby.
Lieutenant Nordquist reminds gun owners to keep your firearms safely stored and locked away and store your ammunition separately. He says they're still investigating whether the 17-year-old owned the gun or got it from someone else. If you have any more information or surveillance camera video, you are encouraged to contact the Madison Police Department. Reporting in Madison, Arman Rahman, News 3 Now.
Thank you, Armand. And police have not yet released the name or age of the victim. And coming up next on News 3 Now at 6, a Madison man encourages advanced care planning in case the unthinkable were to happen. Plus, millions of dollars of health funding potentially on the chopping block. We hear from local and national epilepsy leaders about what's at stake.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6.
More than 100,000 people in Wisconsin are living with epilepsy, a condition with many unknowns and currently no cure. The Epilepsy Foundation works to make life with this neurological condition easier and safer with things like seizure first aid training, support groups and kids camps, and more. These days, more than 100 epilepsy organizations nationwide, though, are worried about potential funding cuts within the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, the FDA, and the CDC. Our Merrill Hubbard sat down with local and national leaders to see what's at stake.
I asked one day during a support group meeting, I said, somebody tell me something that's good about epilepsy. And some people looked at me saying, what kind of a question is that?
Looking at the glass half full isn't easy when your life flips upside down.
I had a seizure in 1991. I blinked my eyes and all of a sudden I'm in an emergency room.
John Mirasola was about to start grad school at the time. After medication, his seizures disappeared for about 7 years. But when he got his dream job, they came back.
I fulfilled my goal of becoming a high school teacher, but I had to give that up because, 25 teenagers in a room with one adult who doesn't know what's going on is a kind of a recipe for disaster.
Epilepsy cost John more than his career. He stopped driving, swimming, and biking too.
But what got me through it, I think, was the people.
He found community through the Epilepsy Foundation of Wisconsin and now has been working for them as a mentor for more than a decade.
I don't have to stop life. I can relate to what you're going through. Please ask me any question you want. My epilepsy, I'm an open book. I didn't used to be.
John is one among millions of Americans living with active epilepsy. But this year, organizations that aim to help people like him are on the chopping block with federal cuts.
After so many years of progress and finally starting to better understand and treat the epilepsies, we're just kind of having the floor fall from beneath us.
Laura Widener with the American Epilepsy Foundation says that federal epilepsy research and programs have seen dramatic cuts in staffing already.
Kind of step one, staff, that's done. And then now funding is on the line for fiscal year 2026.
Looking at the glass half full isn't simple, but John says despite his epilepsy, the foundation gave him a family and a chance to keep teaching, too.
It's another form of teaching, I guess. It's just not to a classroom of 25 teenagers.
Reporting in Madison, Meryl Hubbard, News 3 Now.
Thank you, Meryl. And if you want to support the Wisconsin Epilepsy Foundation, please join John, myself, and others at the Madison Walk to End Epilepsy. It's Saturday, May 10th at McKee Farms Park, and you can register at epilepsywisconsin.org. And now to an amazing story of survival. A Wisconsin man hopes to inspire others to make sure their health care wishes are shared with their loved ones in case of a medical crisis. At 37 years old, Eric Sarno suffered a brain hemorrhage and needed 5 surgeries at UW Hospital. His healthcare wishes were not clear, and it caused unnecessary stress for his family. Fortunately, Sarno was able to recover thanks to the medical team, friends, and family. But now in his 50s, he wants others to learn from his experience.
Sometimes you'll find that your goals aren't the same as your family and friends' goals. And so you really want to try to get those things aligned. And I think advanced care planning is a good way to go to align those goals, those wants, those needs.
And according to UW Health, get this, only about 50% of the approximate 60,000 primary care patients with them who are 65 and older have a power of attorney for health care on file. We'll be right back.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6.
Well, we are in the final stretch of our community baby shower. News 3 Now is once again partnering with Madison nonprofit Babies and Beyond. So tomorrow you can help donate baby and toddler essentials. To help the growing need, Babies and Beyond is looking for gently used clothing, strollers, high chairs, swings, and most importantly, larger sized diapers and wipes. The center is located at 1922 South Stoughton Road, and you can donate between 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. Well, we could be in for some severe storms later tonight and tomorrow. Jacob, what time do you think these will be rolling in?
I'd say probably around 9 to 10 p.m. is when we're going to start to see some of those thunderstorms that could be on the severe level. Right now we're seeing some of those light showers, but they're not really going to be severe for a few more hours. Now looking at the severe weather outlook right now, for tonight there's a marginal risk for Madison and areas to the west, slight risk west than that as the storms may dissipate a little bit as they move closer to Wisconsin. But then looking at tomorrow, there's a slight risk for areas east, including most of Rock County, most of Jefferson County, and a good portion of Dodge and parts of Dane County as well, and with the marginal risk just to the northwest of that. Now areas west of Madison still going to see rain, but the severe weather risk is pretty much non-existent for you folks tomorrow. Here's a look at that current radar. Again, we're starting to see some of these showers begin to reform across portions of southwestern Wisconsin. Likely not going to produce severe weather, at least this round of rainfall. But as we take a look at the forecast, kind of in that 9 to 10 p.m. range is when we will start to see some more showers and storms form. And then as we get later, closer to midnight, that's probably the best chance to see the severe weather. Well, the first round of precipitation, at least consistent-wise, will be north of Madison. The heaviest will be north, I should say. And then as we get later in the night, still going to see some scattered showers and storms, possibly for everybody. More consistent rain than south of us later in the night, or south of Madison, I should say. And then the consistent rain will move back into the northern portion of our area closer to sunrise, as we're still seeing some scattered showers and storms. So from now until around this time tomorrow at least, we're just going to see on and off showers and storms for much of the area, and some of them could be severe. Now late morning Friday, we're going to dry up just a little bit, and then when the afternoon hits, that's when the alert day will kind of be in the forecast, especially for areas east and southeast of Madison. So take a look around this range here where some of these showers and storms will form starting in the middle afternoon and then continuing for the evening as well. And some of these storms, as I've been talking about, definitely could be on the stronger side. Large hail and strong winds are possible. Could even see an isolated tornado as well. Now, this is definitely going to continue to be the case for the evening, even around sunset. But as we get closer to around 9 to 10 p.m., that's when the rain will clear out for Friday, and then we'll be dry for Saturday. But again, the most likely hazards are wind and hail. Small chance of an isolated tornado, but we cannot rule it out. Now, looking at the weekend forecast, dry for Saturday, but we are going to see some rain move in for Easter. Good news is that it will be in the afternoon, but that's about the only good news, is because once it starts in the afternoon, it may last throughout the entire evening and overnight Sunday into early Monday. So if you have any plans later in the day for Easter, it will likely be impacted. Morning might be good, still could see some light sprinkles, but certainly in the afternoon, it will be just about a washout, and temperatures are going to be on the chillier side as well, as we'll see highs in the lower 50s. That's going to continue for Monday. The rain will clear out by Monday afternoon, and then once it does, it's going to warm up for the rest of next week, where temperatures overall look very good, especially for that Thursday for the NFL draft.
Speaking of, thank you, Jacob. Next week's NFL draft will have a rocking conclusion. Country music star Brad Paisley will wrap up draft weekend with a free concert on Saturday, April 26th. All NFL Draft Concert Series performances will be held at the Draft Theater next to Lambeau Field. General viewing is free, and standing room is on a first-come, first-served basis. That will be pretty busy. Well, meanwhile, some former Wisconsin Badgers will be looking for their names to be called during the draft, including safety Hunter Wohler. Wohler is one of 3 former Badgers expected to hear his name called in this year's draft. Before playing for 4 years with the Badgers, he was a standout safety at Muskego High School, helping lead the Warriors to back-to-back state titles. Now here's what Packers correspondent Jason Wilde has to say about Wohler's draft standing.
All these draft experts have varying opinions of where he's going to go. Some think he could go as early as the 3rd round, others toward the end of day 3 in the 5th, 6th, or 7th round. So I would just say this about Hunter Wohler, just like I would say way back in the day about Jimmy Leonard. I'm not betting against this guy. And so I expect him, wherever he lands, wherever he's drafted, to find success in the NFL.
And don't forget, News 3 Now will be talking about the NFL draft in Wisconsin all this weekend next. In addition to Jason Wilde, Eric Franke will be joined by sports director Zach Hanley and Andrew Banstra for our coverage. They'll have the sights and sounds and strategy leading up to next week's first-round picks.
And coming up in sports, it's almost Dame time. The good news the Bucs got about their all-star guard is next on News 3 Now. The Bucs received some good news ahead of their first-round playoff series with the Pacers. Damian Lillard has been cleared of blood clots in his calf and was back at practice. The better news, there was no limitations. He was a full participant. Now, Dame is still out for Saturday's Game 1, but could be back for Game 2 depending on how his ramp-up period goes. Remember, the All-Star guard hasn't played since March 18th. We're officially a week away from the NFL draft, and the Packers have a couple big decisions to make. Mainly, what will they do in the first round with pick number 23? Well, only time will tell, but draft night is unlike any other. It's a time when lives change and dreams come true. Lucas Van Ness got that call 2 years ago as the 13th overall pick and is looking forward to seeing this year's class experiencing that moment.
I'm super excited for this 2025 class of draftees. You put all this time in as a kid and in college, and coming those dreams, seeing those dreams come to fruition is just nothing short of amazing. But it's a special day with your family and friends, and hearing your name called is a pretty special moment.
On the ice, a pair of Badgers were honored by the HCA. Kirsten Sims was named the National Player of the Month after tallying 12 points in 6 games in March, including 2 goals in the national championship game, while teammate Ava McNaughton was tabbed the National Goaltender of the Month. Well, speaking of Badgers, Lacey Eden was up to her old tricks at the Women's Worlds. The U.S. up 1-0 in the first. Eden leaves the goalie breathless after finding the blank space to bury home the rebound. The U.S. went on to win 3-0 and advances to Saturday's semifinals. And Badger volleyball will open up the season hosting the opening Spike Classic at the Kohl Center over Labor Day weekend. Friday, August 29th, Wisconsin will host Kansas, and then on Sunday, August 31st, they'll take on Texas. Remember, last year the Badgers faced the #1 ranked Longhorns at Pfizer Forum, part of the College Volleyball Showcase.
Busy time in sports. Looking forward to the draft. And coming up at 10, Dane County asks the public for input on how to aid with the opioid crisis. We'll break down how local representatives have been using funds provided by the government and what more could be done. And now Jacob is here with the final look at our forecast. We're going to have a wet couple of days, some severe weather too.
Yeah, the possibility of severe weather will be there tonight, and then again for Friday afternoon. Tonight, Madison areas west will see the severe weather. Then for Friday, Madison areas east and southeast will see the severe weather. That's when the alert day will be in effect. And then as we look at the weekend, dry for Saturday, but then Easter looks a little bit messy. The only good news is that it may still be dry for the morning, but then once the rain moves in for the afternoon, it's going to continue through the evening into early Monday. But the rest of next week after Monday looks really good.
Looks great.
Yeah, last 60.
Especially draft day.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us, everyone. We'll see you back here at 10 o'clock.